The tension at my parents' dinner table had been building for weeks, but tonight it reached a breaking point. My sister Jennifer had moved back into our childhood home 3 months ago after what she called temporary housing issues. The reality was that she'd been evicted from her downtown condo for missing 6 months of rent payments. She'd been served papers, had a court date she didn't attend, and finally had the sheriff escort her out when she refused to leave voluntarily. My daughter Maya, who was 7 years old, had been excited to see her aunt. She'd worn her favorite yellow dress and brought drawings she'd made at school. One showed our family as flowers in a garden, each person a different color. Maya has autism and sometimes struggles in social situations, but she'd been making incredible progress with her therapist. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration of family. My mother had made pot roast, Maya's favorite, and there was apple pie cooling on the counter. "Pass the potatoes, please," Maya said softly, her voice barely audible. Jennifer rolled her eyes dramatically. "Can't she speak up? We're not mind readers." She'd been like this all evening, making small digs that together formed a pattern of hostility. It was as if Maya's very existence offended her. I felt my jaw tighten but kept my voice steady. "She asked politely, Jennifer." "That's the problem," Jennifer continued, reaching for the wine bottle and pouring herself a generous glass. "It was her third since we'd arrived 30 minutes ago. You coddle her. Kids need structure, discipline. Not this gentle parenting nonsense. When we were kids, we didn't get away with this behavior." My father, seated at the head of the table, shifted uncomfortably. He'd always avoided confrontation. My mother focused intently on cutting her chicken, her knife scraping against the plate with increasing force. "Maya's doing wonderfully," I replied calmly. "Her teacher says she's reading above grade level. She's also learning piano, and her art teacher wants to submit one of her paintings to an exhibition. She's made friends at school. She's thriving." "Reading," Jennifer scoffed. "What about normal things? Can she look people in the eye? Can she handle a normal conversation without shutting down? Can she go to a birthday party without you calling ahead to warn everyone?" Maya's hand found mine under the table. She squeezed tightly, her signal that she was getting overwhelmed. Her breathing changed, becoming shallower. I squeezed back twice. "Our code for "you're safe, I'm here." "Jennifer, perhaps we could discuss something else," my mother suggested weakly, finally looking up from her plate. "How about that new restaurant downtown?" "No, Mom. Someone needs to say what everyone's thinking." Jennifer leaned back in her chair, swirling her wine. "It's not normal. The way she needs everything explained. The way she can't handle loud noises. The meltdowns. Remember Christmas?" "She's 7, I said, my voice still measured. "And she hasn't had a meltdown in 4 months. Because you structure your entire life around avoiding them," Jennifer shot back. "That's not preparing her for the real world. The real world doesn't care about her sensory issues or her need for routine." My father finally spoke. "Jennifer, that's enough." "Is it, Dad? Because I think someone needs to be honest here." She took another sip of wine. "This whole family tiptoes around her. We can't have music playing. We can't use the blender. God forbid anyone raises their voice." "We're being considerate," I said. "You're being excessive." Jennifer pointed her fork at Maya. "And you're doing her no favors. What happens when she's an adult? When she can't function because Mommy isn't there to make everything comfortable?" Maya's hand trembled in mine. I could feel her starting to retreat inward. That familiar withdrawal when the world became too much. "I think we should go," I said quietly, starting to stand. "See." Jennifer addressed the table triumphantly. "This is exactly what I mean. Can't even handle a little honest conversation. Running away the moment things get uncomfortable." "You're being cruel," I said simply. "I'm being realistic." Jennifer stood as well, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "And since we're being honest, let's talk about this house. This is a family home, a place for normal family gatherings. Not a sensory-controlled environment for special needs kids." My mother gasped softly. "Jennifer." "What, Mom? You're thinking it too." "We all are." She gestured around the dining room. "Look at this place. We can't use the nice china because it's too loud when plates clink. We can't have normal lighting because it's too bright. We have to watch our volume, our tone, everything." "These are simple accommodations," I said. "They're excessive," Jennifer countered. And honestly, maybe it would be better if certain family members stayed in different parts of the house during gatherings. You know, where they'd be more comfortable. Where the environment suits their needs better. The room went absolutely silent. Even my father stopped eating. What are you suggesting? My voice was barely a whisper. Jennifer shrugged, refilling her wine glass. The bottle was nearly empty now. Just that maybe Maya would be happier in the basement playroom. It's quieter down there. Less stimulation. More her speed. We could set up a nice area for her. Bring her meals down. That way she wouldn't have to deal with all the noise up here and we wouldn't have to walk on eggshells. Kids like yours should stay in the basement, not upstairs, she said casually, as if she were discussing seating arrangements at a wedding. As if my daughter were something to be hidden away. Maya looked down at her plate, her shoulders hunching. A single tear rolled down her cheek. I carefully set down my fork. The sound of metal touching porcelain seemed impossibly loud in the silence. Like how you're staying in Dad's guest room since your eviction? I asked calmly. Jennifer froze, her wine glass halfway to her lips. That's different. Is it? I kept my tone conversational. Because from where I'm sitting, you're living in someone else's home rent-free because you couldn't manage your own finances. You had a 2-bedroom condo. You had 6 months to figure things out before the eviction became final. That was a misunderstanding, Jennifer said quickly, her face flushing red. My property manager had it out for me. You missed 6 months of rent, I continued. And before that you borrowed $5,000 from Mom and Dad that you never paid back. Before that it was $3,000 for your car repair. I know because Mom tells me when she's worried about money. My mother whispered, stop. But someone had to say it. The difference between Maya and you, I said, standing up and helping my daughter from her chair, is that Maya is 7 years old and learning. She works hard every day on things that don't come easily. She practices social skills with her therapist. She's brave and resilient. You're 32 and still expecting everyone to accommodate you. How dare you? Jennifer hissed, standing so quickly that her chair tipped backward. No, how dare you? I replied, my voice still steady but firmer now. How dare you criticize a child for needing understanding when you've spent 3 months eating Mom's food, using Dad's utilities and sleeping in their guest room without contributing $1? How dare you drink their wine and judge my parenting when you can't even keep a roof over your own head? I'm getting back on my feet, Jennifer protested. I've had setbacks. Jobs aren't easy to find. Maya goes to therapy twice a week and works incredibly hard on skills that don't come naturally to her, I said. You go to the mall and charge things to Mom's credit card. I know about the $300 at Nordstrom last week. My father cleared his throat. Both of you need to calm down. No, Dad. I gathered Maya's jacket from the back of her chair. We need to leave. Because Jennifer is right about one thing. This isn't a comfortable environment. Not because of sensory issues, but because of her constant judgment and complete lack of self-awareness. Jennifer slammed her wine glass down so hard that wine sloshed over the rim. You can't talk to me like that in my parents' house. Their house, I corrected. Not yours. You're a guest just like us. Except we were invited with love. You showed up with a court-ordered eviction notice and nowhere else to go. It was a temporary housing issue. Jennifer's voice rose sharply. That's what eviction is, I said simply. A housing issue that becomes permanent when you don't pay rent for half a year. My mother stood up, wringing her hands. Please, both of you. This is getting out of hand. It got out of hand when Jennifer suggested my daughter should be hidden away in a basement, I replied. I helped Maya into her jacket, her small body trembling against mine. I didn't say hidden, Jennifer backtracked. I just meant more comfortable. You meant out of sight, I said. Because heaven forbid anyone acknowledge that not all children develop the same way. Heaven forbid we show basic human kindness and understanding. I show plenty of kindness, Jennifer argued. You show judgment, I countered. You show disdain. You show an incredible lack of self-awareness for someone who's been living on their parents' charity for 3 months. My father finally stood, his chair scraping back. That's enough from both of you. You're right, Dad. It is enough. I took Maya's hand. We're going home, to our home. The one I pay for with my job. The one where my daughter is loved and accepted exactly as she is. Don't you dare make this about money, Jennifer snapped. You made it about money when you criticized my parenting while living rent-free, I said. I looked at my parents. Thank you for dinner. I'm sorry it ended this way. My mother looked like she might cry. Please don't go like this. I love you, Mom. But I won't stay somewhere my daughter is treated like a problem that needs to be hidden. I guided Maya toward the front door. Jennifer followed us into the hallway. You're being overdramatic. Am I? I paused at the door. Tell me, Jennifer, in all your wisdom about child rearing and proper parenting, how many children do you have? She didn't answer. Right. None. You have no children, no stable housing, and no income of your own right now. But you're qualified to judge how I raise my daughter. I have eyes, Jennifer said defensively. I can see when a kid isn't normal. Maya is perfect, I said firmly. She's kind, creative, loving, and trying her best every single day, which is more than I can say for you right now. I opened the front door. The cool evening air rushed in and Maya took a deep breath, already starting to regulate herself. Come on, sweetheart, I said softly to my daughter. Let's go home. As we walked to the car, I heard my mother's voice from inside, sharp in a way I rarely heard. Jennifer Marie, what is wrong with you? That is your niece. How could you say those things? I buckled Maya into her car seat, adjusting the straps carefully. She was quiet, staring out the window at the darkening sky. A few stars were beginning to appear and I could see her tracking them, counting silently the way she did when she needed to calm down. I'm sorry about tonight, baby, I said gently, kneeling beside the open car door. She looked at me with those wise 7-year-old eyes. Aunt Jennifer was mean. Yes, she was. But you stood up for me. Her voice was small but steady. Always, I promised, taking her small hand in mine. Always, always, always. No matter what. I don't want to be in the basement, she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. You never have to be anywhere you don't want to be, I told her firmly, wiping away a tear. And anyone who doesn't appreciate what an amazing person you are doesn't deserve to be around you. She nodded slowly, processing this. As I drove home, my phone buzzed repeatedly in the cup holder. Text messages from my mother, my father, even from Jennifer. I ignored them all, keeping my eyes on the road and occasionally checking on Maya in the rearview mirror. She needed calm, needed routine, needed to decompress from the emotional trauma of the evening. At home, I made her favorite chamomile tea with exactly 2 teaspoons of honey. I put on her comfort show, the one about the girl who solves mysteries with her dog. We'd seen every episode multiple times, but the familiarity was what she needed. I sat with her on the couch and she leaned against me, her small body gradually relaxing, her breathing slowing to normal. I could feel the tension leaving her muscles. Mom, she said after a while during a commercial break. Yes, baby. Thank you for not making me stay. Her voice was clearer now, stronger. Thank you for taking me home. I kissed the top of her head, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. I will never make you stay somewhere you're not respected. Not ever. Not for anyone. She was quiet for another moment. Then, I love you. I love you too, Maya. So much. Later that night, after Maya was asleep, I finally looked at my phone. 17 messages. I deleted them all without reading them. Some boundaries, once crossed, require space to heal. My daughter didn't need to be hidden in a basement. She needed to be celebrated, supported, and loved exactly as she was. And anyone who couldn't understand that simply didn't deserve a place in our lives. The conversation at dinner had been painful but necessary. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes standing up for what's right means walking away from what's comfortable. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is simply say no, and mean it,